In the world of government investigations and oversight, there's this huge kind of hidden problem. It's not about a lack of information. It's actually the opposite. It's a total flood of it. So today, we're going to dig into this massive challenge of finding the truth in a sea of paperwork and the new capability that was built to solve it.
Really think about that for a second. An incident happens, or a big audit is needed, and an analyst is staring at this exact question. Their job is to figure out what happened, when it happened, and who was involved, all from this mountain of disconnected files.
And here's the number that just blows my mind. For the really complex cases, analysts can spend up to 80% of their time not analyzing, not investigating, but just organizing documents. The vast majority of their skill and their time is just wasted on manual, administrative work.
Yeah, this problem actually has a name. They call it the document deluge. And it's the day-to-day reality for thousands of teams in the public sector who are supposed to be focused on things like enforcement, oversight, and accountability.
And this right here? This really captures the chaos. We are not talking about a nice, neat stack of papers. It is a storm of unstructured text. You've got emails, field notes, logs, statements. It's a completely fragmented mess that someone has to piece together by hand.
This slide just illustrates the disconnect perfectly. On the left, you have the tedious reality of what they're actually doing, reading files one by one, trying to connect the dots. But on the right, that's the high-value work they were hired to do, to spot patterns, draw conclusions, and make those really critical judgment calls. The document deluge keeps them stuck on the left side of this chart.
Okay, so what if we could just flip that script? What if technology could take over all that manual organization and free up the analysts to, well, actually analyze? This is where a totally new approach comes into play.
This is timeline intelligence. And the key thing to understand here, as the source material points out, is that this isn't just another piece of software. It's a whole new operational capability. It's a system designed to automatically turn that fragmented chaos into a structured story, where every single event is linked right back to the original piece of evidence.
The impact of this is just profound. We're talking about a process that used to take days, sometimes even weeks of painstaking work, now getting done in a matter of hours. This is a fundamental shift in how fast you can find the truth.
So, how does it actually work? How do you turn a random pile of documents into a clean, easy-to-understand timeline? Let's break down that process.
It's basically a four-stage intelligence pipeline. First, the system just ingests all the raw documents. You throw everything in. Then, it extracts all the critical information, the who, the what, and the when. Third, it reconstructs the entire sequence of events, putting everything in chronological order. And finally, it generates these structured reports where every single finding is traceable.
And this is what you get. Instead of that mess, you have a clean, simple, and really powerful timeline. An analyst can look at this and immediately see how the case unfolded, where the key decision points were, and exactly what happened, step by step. The real story just emerges from all that noise.
Now, this all sounds great in theory, but the real test is the tangible impact, right? So let's look at what this efficiency means in concrete operational numbers.
How about this for a starting point? We're talking up to an 85% reduction in the time it takes just to manually review all the documents for a case. That is a massive, massive operational leap. This bar chart really puts it into perspective. A complex case that would normally eat up 60 to 100 hours of manual labor can now be processed and validated by an analyst in just 8 to 15 hours. The time savings are just astronomical.
So what does that mean for an entire team over the course of a year? Well, for a group handling about 200 cases, this can save up to 17,000 hours annually. That's like adding 4 to 8 full-time analysts to your team without having to hire a single person.
And all of this leads to the ultimate force multiplier. By getting rid of that document organization bottleneck, agencies can increase their case throughput by 3 to 4 times. They can do more oversight, more enforcement, and provide more accountability with the exact same team.
So, what does this all mean for the future? This isn't just about being more efficient, it's about changing the very nature of investigative and oversight work.
And I think this is a really crucial point. This technology is here to support humans, not replace them. You see the platform handling the mechanical work, the organizing, the reconstructing. That frees up the human expert to do what they do best: analysis, critical thinking, and making those tough judgment calls.
This quote from the source material really just says it all. The whole strategic value here is letting skilled professionals focus on their core mission, investigation and accountability, instead of getting completely bogged down in administrative tasks.
And that really leaves us with a powerful final thought. When that barrier to understanding complex events is just gone, what changes? If we can create a clear, evidence-based history of what actually happened in a few hours instead of a few months, what does that truly mean for transparency and accountability in our institutions? Definitely something to think about.